Are you ready for some NFL picks on sides and totals for Week 12? You have come to the perfect place for that, my friend. In case we don't know each other yet, my name is Professor MJ. The number one goal of this YouTube channel that's been running since 2019 is to grow your bankroll. As simple as that. Press the subscribe button now so that I can help you beating your bookies. After going through an incredible 6-week stretch where we smashed the sports books, we fell flat on our face last week. Indeed, the predictions posted an ugly 5-10 record. That was awful, but we have still earned a lot of profit thus far during the 2025 NFL campaign. The good news is we won the weekly NFL Lobster Bet once again. For those of you who are not familiar with the concept yet, this is what I believe to be the best wager of the week in the NFL. Since I began doing this last year in Week 14, we have accumulated 15 wins versus 6 losses, a stunning 71.4% winning rate. You are personally invited to gain access to this week's Lobster Bet. All you need to do is to follow the link in the comments below. The pick in question comes with a money-back guarantee, so go ahead and join our large number of smart sports investors who have been pocketing a lot of money over the weeks. Now it's time to dive into this week's football picks for Week 12. Let's go! I am opting for the full game over in the Patriots-Bengals game. More specifically, I am wagering on over 49.5. This pick gets a C grade because my level of confidence is not super high. New England's run defense is very solid. In fact, they have given up the fewest rushing yards per game so far in 2025. However, they are 23rd in terms of passer rating allowed, so they are vulnerable through the air. And that happens to be Cincinnati's strength on offense. Granted, the Bengals will miss Jamar Chase, who got suspended after spitting on Jalen Ramsey. That hurts the value of this selection, and that's one of the reasons why the grade is C. On the other hand, do I really need to convince you that the Patriots are likely to put many points on the board? Here is a mind-boggling stat. The Bengals have surrendered at least 27 points in 9 straight contests. It is not surprising that Cincinnati's defense ranks in last place according to multiple metrics. The Patriots had 3 extra days to game plan against the Bengals after playing last Thursday against the Jets. They have all the reasons to be able to exploit an already weak defense, so let's attack the over here. Let's move on to the NFC matchup between the Giants and the Lions. In this case, I am supporting Detroit minus 10 points. As a general rule, I love to back elite teams coming off a straight-up loss because they tend to bounce back well. Yes, I do consider the Lions as an elite team despite their 6-4 record. They still own the 5th best point differential in the league at plus 76. In short, they are solid on both sides of the ball. Last week, Detroit's offense did not look very good in Philadelphia. But as I have said often here on this channel, Jared Goff is susceptible to having off days when playing outdoors. He will go back to the comfort of Ford Field, a place where the Lions' offense tends to roll. Since 2023, the Lions have posted a 4-1 record against the spread as 10-plus point favorites at home. Here is a concerning stat for the G-Men. They are in last place in the NFL when it comes to yards per carry average allowed. Now they are about to face the formidable Lions running attack led by Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Good luck with that. Will Jackson Dart be back for the Giants? That remains to be seen. He has provided a great spark to this offense, even though he has very limited support with Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterboo out of the lineup. Dart has been checked 4 times for concussions this year, so he needs to be more careful from now on. Even if Dart plays, I think Detroit will roll after such a disappointing performance in Philly last week. The Lions win big. It's really difficult to gauge just how good JJ McCarthy is. There have been stretches of games where he's looked fantastic, like when he led his team to a great comeback over the Bears in Week 1. But for the most part, he has struggled, including last week, where he completed just 50% of his passes at home against an ordinary Bears defense. Even Justin Jefferson appeared frustrated on the sidelines during the second half. The Vikings will be traveling to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. After analyzing this matchup, I have decided to bet Green Bay minus 6.5 points. Sure, this is a fairly substantial spread, but I don't trust McCarthy too much, especially in a tough environment like Green Bay. Also, the Packers have things to prove after displaying 3 consecutive ordinary performances. They barely beat the Giants after losing against the Eagles and the Panthers. To me, the Packers are better than what their record indicates. Underlying metrics agree with this assessment, and those metrics have been significantly better when Green Bay has been at home. It's time for the Packers to make a statement. They must stop playing down to their competition by smashing a weaker rival. No better opportunity than this week against a hated divisional foe, right? Green Bay's defense has done a good job since their bye week. More precisely, the Packers have surrendered an average of 18.7 points per match in their past 6 outings. Their offense must wake up though. The team dropped several passes last week, so that will be a point of emphasis this week. Securing the football. Christian Watson was a bright spot last week as he made a couple of eye-popping catches, including the game-winning touchdown. His return is great news for this offense. Here is another argument supporting this pick. The Packers will be looking to avenge 2 losses against those same Vikings last year. In both cases, Green Bay dug itself into a pretty big hole before staging a comeback later, but it was too little too late. They lost 31-29 at home and 27-25 on the road against Minnesota in 2024. It will be payback time at Lambeau Field on Sunday. Up next, we have the Pittsburgh-Chicago matchup. My favorite bet of the week, called the Lobster Bet, concerns this particular game. Again, if you wish to invest in your long-term success, sign up at the link below in the comments in order to gain exclusive access to this high-confidence betting tip. Let's move on to the Seattle-Tennessee matchup. I don't feel comfortable betting big favorites, but I feel like I have to do it this week. I am taking the Seahawks minus 13 points. Let me simplify the analysis here. According to the DVOA advanced metric, Seattle is first in the NFL versus dead last for the Titans. It doesn't get any simpler than that. To make matters worse for Tennessee, their most reliable target, Calvin Ridley, suffered a season-ending injury last week. A broken fibula marked the end of his 2025 campaign. Sure, Sam Darnold looked bad last week against the Rams after tossing 4 interceptions. But let's not hit the panic button just yet. Historically speaking, Darnold has had difficulty figuring out Sean McVay's team. Darnold has lost its past 3 encounters against the Rams. Last year, he went 14-2 against everyone else. Facing the Titans will allow Darnold to right the ship. Still, I am awarding this pick a C grade. Not only do I not feel good about laying that many points, but the Seahawks will be on the road for a third time in a span of 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the Titans will be at home for the fourth week in a row. That's a big difference when it comes to being well rested. For these reasons, I am only taking a very small stab at the Seahawks minus 13 in Tennessee in Week 12. I'm very excited to watch the Colts-Chiefs game this weekend. Get your popcorn ready and get your kids to take an afternoon nap so that you can watch this game without being distracted. Kansas City must win this game. They really need it. They are sitting on a 5-5 record and they are fighting for a wild card spot with the Bills, the Jaguars, and the Chargers. 3 teams who have all beaten the Chiefs, which means they have the tiebreaker over Andy Reid and company. The margin of error for Kansas City is getting slim. Last year, the Chiefs went 12-0 in one-score games. This year, they are 0-5 under the same conditions. What the heck is going on? Based on what I've said so far, you may expect me to back the Chiefs from a betting perspective. However, with a spread of 3.5, I am going to side with the Colts. Patrick Mahomes has proven to be good when he needs to win a game, but asking him to beat Indianapolis by a margin of 4 points or more is a daunting task. The Colts offense occupies the top spot in the NFL, according to the DVOA metric and also based on their EPA per play. Kansas City may be able to slow them down a little bit, but their defense has not been super stingy this year. On top of that, don't forget that the Colts are coming off their bye week. They have had a lot of time to game plan for this pivotal AFC matchup. Finally, here is a betting angle that has generated some profit over many years. Fading the home team if they are coming off 2+ consecutive road losses. The betting public tends to expect such clubs to bounce back super strong in front of their home fans. But, according to the numbers, they are not a good bet to make. In this case, maybe the Chiefs will win this contest, but I don't believe it's going to be by 4 points or more. In my humble opinion, it is much more likely that the Colts will either win the game or lose by 3 points or fewer. So let's roll with Indy plus 3.5 at Arrowhead Stadium. The Ravens are getting healthier and they have picked up the W on 4 straight occasions. However, is it just me or they have not been that impressive during this stretch? They have done fairly well, but I'm not fully sold yet. If forced to bet the spread, I would take the Jets plus 13.5. But my official bet on this game is as follows. Baltimore's team total to go under 29.5 points. Did you notice how Lamar Jackson has slowed down during the past 2 games? In those matches, he has tossed just 1 TD pass versus 2 interceptions. He also completed less than 60% of his passes, the only 2 times it has occurred to him in 2025. I know that the Jets are not nearly as talented as Baltimore, but they could get a mental boost from their QB change. Indeed, Aaron Glenn has decided to move on from Justin Fields to give Tyrod Taylor a shot. I believe that Baltimore's team total is too high. According to my mathematical model, the probability that the Ravens will score 29 points or fewer is 55.9%, so I will roll with this wager. Will Dylan Gabriel clear the concussion protocol in time to be under center for the Browns this weekend? That remains to be seen. Kevin Stefanski is probably crossing his fingers that Gabriel will be able to suit up after watching Shedeur Sanders falter so badly last week. Sanders completed just 4 of his 16 passes. He threw many errant passes and he was too quick to leave the pocket. Right now, the Raiders are viewed as 3.5-point favorites against the Browns. What? The Raiders are 3.5-point favorites? No matter who they are facing, I will always go against that. There is simply no way that I'm going to put my hard-earned money on Las Vegas to win by 4 points or more. First, Geno Smith has been abysmal. He could not get anything going last week against a poor Dallas defense. How the heck is he going to put points on the board against a stout Cleveland defense? It does not matter who will be under center for Cleveland. They should be fine covering this spread. Also, I am not a big fan of having the oldest head coach in NFL history on the sidelines. I don't have anything against Pete Carroll. He's been a great coach, but your mind is not nearly as sharp as you grow older. I would not want my team's head coach to be 74 years old. The Raiders also lose 1 day of preparation after playing last Monday night. And the Browns have the revenge factor on their side because they lost 20-16 against Vegas last year after taking a 10-0 lead. This has the look of a super ugly slugfest. I will take the 3.5-point underdog anytime in those conditions. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. The Jaguars dismantling the Chargers 35-6 last week. I still cannot believe that score. Did the Chargers have an off game or is Jacksonville back on track? I will need more evidence before going crazy about the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has been underperforming all season long, and their defense does not inspire much confidence to me. Sure, they forced many takeaways early in the season, but they are not that talented. Meanwhile, Arizona's offense has been much more efficient since Jacoby Brissett got the starting job. Last week, he amassed 452 passing yards without Marvin Harrison Jr. The second-year wideout may have a shot to return this week, but it's not a sure thing either. In the end, I have decided to back the Cardinals plus 3 points. I just cannot trust Trevor Lawrence to lead his team to a victory by 4 points or more on the road. If you are a believer in the net yards per play statistic, then you will definitely be siding with Arizona here. In fact, the Jaguars occupy the 24th spot in terms of this stat compared to rank number 17 for the Cardinals. And things have been even brighter for the Cardinals since Brissett took over. So, in summary, Arizona appears like a stronger squad than Jacksonville, and they are at home, and yet we are getting 3 extra points. Wow, I gotta go with the Cards plus 3 in this spot. For the third straight pick, I will support a small underdog. This time I am taking the Cowboys plus 3.5 points at home against the Eagles. This is a high confidence pick that receives the grade A. I really liked what I saw from Dallas on Monday night, especially their defense. They harassed Geno Smith all night long. Is it possible that this unit becomes a lot stingier after acquiring Quinnen Williams from the Jets and linebacker Logan Wilson from the Bengals? Also, they seemed extra motivated to play for their former teammate Marshawn Nealand, who recently passed away. Don't underestimate the importance of this factor. Also, it's not like Philly's offense had been firing on all cylinders. They scored 16 points against the Lions after putting just 10 in Green Bay. Their running game is still having trouble to get going, and A.J. Brown has been a distraction with his repeated complaints. The Eagles are 8-2, but all of their wins except one occurred by one score. They have not smashed their opponents. Of course, Philly's defense has been very impressive. Acquiring Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins appears to be yet another great move done by GM Howie Roseman. Phillips has been rock solid in both of his games with his new club. I also like the fact that the Cowboys will also be looking to avenge a 24-20 loss in the season opener in Philadelphia. In that contest, the stats were pretty even. Total yards ended 307 to 302 in favor of Dallas, and first downs were 22-20 favoring the Cowboys. I expect another hard-fought game. Under this setting, I have no choice but to bet Dallas plus 3.5. This time, I will go with a small favorite, but I'm not super confident about this selection at all. I am backing the New Orleans Saints to get the win at home against the falling Falcons. The Saints are 3-0 ATS during the past 3 meetings with the Falcons. New Orleans has given up the 9th lowest yards per carry average of the year. That's great news for them because they could be able to stop Atlanta's ground game while forcing Kirk Cousins to beat them with his arm. That is unlikely to happen given how poor Cousins has looked this season. And he will be without the team's best wide receiver, Drake London. The Saints are also coming off their bye week, which is always a nice bonus to have. Rookie Tyler Shaw has done a fine job this year. Can he move the ball against Atlanta? That does not seem impossible after watching Bryce Young torching the Falcons for 448 passing yards. Let's go back to Kirk Cousins. He has made one start this year. He had a super favorable matchup by being at home against a bad Dolphins defense. Yet, Cousins led his team to only 10 points. It feels to me like Atlanta must fire its head coach Raheem Morris. I don't like his play calling, and his team has been vastly underperforming this year. They are much more talented than a 3-7 team. Atlanta players are probably deflated after dropping to 3-7 and losing their starting QB and best wideout. Meanwhile, the Saints will be fresh off their bye week and they will be excited to play at home in a divisional game. Give me New Orleans to win this contest. The Sunday nighter should be a dandy. The Bucs will travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams, who have their eyes set on the number 1 seed in the NFC. This will be a strange pick. I have many arguments backing the Rams, but I will go with the Bucs for a single reason. The spread is just too large. More specifically, I am going to go with Tampa Bay plus 7 points. The Rams are 8-1-1 ATS in their past 10 encounters with the Bucs. The Rams will also be at home for the 4th time in 5 weeks, with their only road travel being in San Francisco, which is not very far from home. You can also make a case that the Rams are the best NFL team. They are the only club inside the top 6, both in EPA per play and opponent EPA per play. Meanwhile, the Bucs are fading after a hot start. They've won just 1 game in their past 4, their lone victory taking place against the lowly Saints. Still, Tampa remains a fairly solid NFL squad. How can they be underdogs by a touchdown here? Baker Mayfield is a true warrior. He will do whatever it takes to get his team to win, including sacrificing his body. The team may welcome back Bucky Irving on the field. That would be great news because this guy is very explosive and smart. Even if Irving misses the game, did you watch Sean Tucker's breakout party last week in Buffalo? He looked super strong with 19 rushes for 106 yards and a couple of touchdowns, along with 2 catches for 34 yards and another TD. He looks like a starting quality tailback. Yes, Tampa Bay's pass defense worries me. They will be tested against Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Davante Adams. But I believe Baker Mayfield will find a way to keep his team in the game. To me, the Rams could have a bit of a letdown after beating 2 divisional opponents in a row. the 49ers, and the Seahawks. I say the Rams win this contest by a field goal or maybe by 4 points. For this reason, I am betting the Tampa Bay Bucks +7 in the Sunday night matchup of Week 12. It's time for you to take action to grow your bankroll. The best sports betting product on the market is my weekly NFL Lobster Bet. Remember how we have posted a 15-6 record with those high confidence predictions, a 71% winning rate. Now, what is the Lobster Bet for Week 12? You will get the answer by investing in my money-back guarantee gold package, which is readily available for you at the link provided below in the comments. The play in question concerns the Steelers versus Bears matchup, and it could be either on sides or totals. Find out what it is by signing up now. The earlier you do it, the more likely you are to get similar betting odds as the early subscribers did. I'm Professor MJ, holder of a PhD in statistics and bookie crusher since 1999. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Let's crush the bookies together again!